Well, for more, we're joined by Yasmin Lari, co-founder and CEO of the Heritage Foundation of Pakistan. Yasmin, thanks for joining us. Now, if you look at, the historical trends, what has improved, or have things gotten worse?
I'm afraid every year it becomes worse because we have no control over what's going on in the global north with this enormous, greenhouse gas emissions, and no let on that at all. And Pakistan is one of the frontline states, in terms of vulnerability. And every year we see that the floods are becoming worse. We are losing more people, so much property damage. But I think the issue is that we are also not prepared. I mean, we should know it's one of the known knowns of disasters that we will get floods every year. And I think unless we now concentrate on making our communities ready for that and make them really resilient in that way, we will keep on suffering. Sometimes it's very difficult to really withstand the kind of disasters that have happened, for instance, in the north, with the outburst of, the cloud outburst and then the flooding with the glaciers melting. But still, I think we need to take more action to make sure that our communities can be safe. So at least lives are saved. And also, I think we have to change the way we construct everything because concrete is not the answer. And a lot of times, people lose lives because concrete buildings collapse very easily, and then they're the most deadly kind of materials. So I really think that we should now prepare our communities to become resilient. We should be making more plantations everywhere. We should have flood mitigation measures. We can help communities to be prepared, and there
Right.
should be more warning systems.
What sort of
Unless we do that,
emergency?
I don't know how.
Like,
Yeah.
if you look at emergency measures,
Yes.
though, what can be done in tandem with some of these suggestions that you've recommended?
Well, I'm working in Sindh, which had the worst flooding in 2022, as you might recall, when we lost something like 3 million people were actually displaced. But also, Sindh was more or less all kind of submerged. And I'm working with 1 million, and my basic focus is to see how I can make them, first of all, food secure, but also flood secure. And we are having some success in that because we are really now seeing that we pass the knowledge to communities to see how they can make sure that the water that comes in can be absorbed into the soil. And also there should be enough plantation that it starts, stopping the water flow. So unless we do that, and unless communities are involved, the government will not be able to do it. It doesn't have the capacity. It cannot do it. But the issue, I think, is that we are not focusing enough about, telling them what they can be doing to prepare. And unless we do that, the poverty levels will keep on rising, will be more vulnerable every year. And this must be done now really at really emergency footing. And we have a year, hopefully, when we can make all the arrangements.
Right, you talk about communities a lot. What sort of work can communities and groups like your foundation help to actually work with authorities to roll out some of these suggestions that you've mentioned?
Well, I think the interesting thing that I've found in this last 2 years that I've been working on more than 2 years now with these communities is that they're ready to take on knowledge and advice. And I really would like that more and more of the people in the field of the villages should be now going around and telling people how to take care of it. I'm also using technology a lot in terms of WhatsApp messages and telling them how they should prepare. For instance, now we knew that rains are going to happen. So in the flooding, particularly in Sindh, and anywhere else also really, except for, of course, the north, what we can do is to make sure that we learn from our tradition and heritage. In Mohenjo-daro, for instance, they have lots of platforms. So if we were to make sure that we keep our communities a little bit away from the banks of rivers and make sure that they have lots of platforms, that itself will save them from being inundated. And there are lots of ways to really make aquifer wells and trenches and trying to stop water from coming in with hurdles of different kinds. And that's all we are doing. Plus, a lot of plantation is helping. We've got about, over 3 million plants or trees have been planted in the last 2.5 years. And that's helped a lot. So there are lots of natural ways that we can actually start helping communities to survive. And also not to build these concrete structures because they are the ones that kill people. There's often a saying, it's not the disasters, it's the buildings that kill people. And this is what's been happening. We need to give up these very heavy structures. We should now going for our traditional ways of doing it. I use a lot of bamboo, which is very resilient. It's very strong. And that's helping because we need to make sure people are not displaced. So there are many ways that we can learn to do it, very, very low cost. And that's what we'll have to do and rely on ourselves. We should not be looking for funding from elsewhere. There will be no funding anymore with the way the economic crunch is everywhere.
Right. What
So
about
my
the
advice to
authorities?
everybody,
What about the authorities in Pakistan? I mean, they've been criticized over not just delayed warnings, rescue response, but also preparing for future floods. Is that not correct?
you're absolutely right. And this is the tragedy of this country because we have everything we can and our people are ready, but the government is not there to go and help them out. They appear only when the emergency happens. Well, that's not going to help. So I think we need to, I really believe that it's people themselves who we got to make ready. And they will do it because otherwise they'll be displaced every year. This is not a new thing. Something that happens, again and again and again. And every time it goes, the time goes over and then the water recedes and then we say, oh, everything is okay. And we know that next day is going to happen again. But again, there's no preparation. So it can all be done. It can be done at a very low cost. We don't have to have very expensive systems, but we certainly need warning systems.
Right.
That is something we need help, that everybody should know that they should evacuate now.
Now,
And there should be preparatory camps where they can go.
Yasmin,
Yeah.
are you confident that this long-term vision may exceed your lifetime?
Well, I'm almost 85 years old. I'm not sure what will happen in my lifetime, but I'm hoping I'm setting the stones, setting the foundation for that something. So if anybody wants to take it up, it's all there. I've shown how it can be done. My community for the last year and a half has been safe. I mean, there are 18,000 villages. There are a million families. They have been safe. They have not been displaced. And gradually, I want to get them out of poverty because that's the way to do it. Unless we get them out of poverty, they'll never have the resilience that's needed. So the thing is, we've got to work at all fronts, but it can be done very, very easily. Not easily, but in the sense of, with very low cost. And we use local technologies, we use the vernacular kind of architecture, and people know how to do it. They can do it themselves. And that's the whole thing. We should equip people to be able to do it themselves. Governments will not do it. They don't have the capacity.
Thank you so much for that emphatic message there. Yasmin Larry, co-founder and CEO of the Heritage Foundation of Pakistan, joining us.